Our story starts here. Our story starts here. Our story starts here. Our story starts here. Before our eyes, now we find it all becomes so clear. Our story starts here.
Cool. Hello, Melissa. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So the few technical difficulties, right?
A few technical difficulties, yes. I was changing from my laptop to my iPad back to my laptop.
Yeah.
I'm currently on the road, so I'm just having a little bit of downtime. So I'm just
Right.
trying to I'm currently in a hotel room right now.
Very familiar with hotel rooms, but in the beginning, I always ask um, to do a little intro of yourself. Tell us more about you, where you're from, where you are, and what brings you to the aviation world.
Okay, so I'm Melissa. I'm from the UK, as you can probably tell. Um, I trained as a pilot in Spain, so I actually have a European license, which is quite interesting, really, because there are not many British with a European license. You'd ask why. I love the UK, I really, really do, but there's not much opportunity there. We've got British Airways and Jet2, that's pretty much all. So I chose a European license, and my plan is to stay in Europe. Finished now, and I'm currently in the Dolomites in Italy, just very strangely enjoying some mountain biking.
Uh-oh, that's cool.
Um, so yeah, whilst I'm in this weird limbo phase, whilst waiting for my license, I'm probably enjoying the only time I'm going to get before I go into my type rating.
Yeah, it's a little hassle, but everybody has to do it, right?
Yeah, of course. Um, Aviation wise, I've always been interested, probably since 12 years old. However, I did originally want to join the RAF. Um, Life got in the way. I ended up doing other things, rode horses, set up a business, and yeah, before I knew it, it was too late because we have to apply fairly young. And then one day I just thought, "Do you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go and do it. I'm going to pack everything up and I'm going to go do my dream." So I did. I think 4 days later, I was in Spain at a flight school.
That's cool. And tell me, what gave you like a that final motivation to go ahead and do it?
Do you know what? So I managed to run a really successful. I opened up a beauty salon at 19 years old and then ended up opening a second one unintentionally. It was unintentional. Ended up opening a second one, and then I went into the product side. So started my own product line. I was never actually into that, and like this was in my local hometown, and always wanted more. But I thought, well, I'm living a really good life right now. Like it's fantastic, but I traveled a lot at the time. I was traveling to and from America actually quite a lot for friends, relationships, but maybe cut that part out. And every single time I just thought like maybe one day. Every time I got on the plane, like I said, I always wanted the military. But yeah, I thought maybe one day. Um, and then it was a time I was looking for my first house, and I thought, I'm going to buy a new car." And then literally it was that day, and I realized I don't want this. I want the harder life.
Yes. I
I
want to
don't want,
study all the time, right?
Yeah, basically I gave up actually a really settled life. But you know what? I'd do it all again. But it was that day that I thought, no, I want more. I just want more. I actually still have, well, one of the salons now, which is paid for flight school because we all know it's not cheap.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I think it was really random. Like it wasn't anyone particular. It wasn't family. It wasn't friends. It wasn't a, I don't know, something going wrong in life. I literally just thought, no, I want more in life. Um, so I did it. I just did it. I have been, I thank my mum and dad for this. I have been brought up with the mentality of just go after what you want, go do it. What's to stop you? What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Um, so I thank my mum and dad for that.
Very good. I mean, you know what? All the people I talk to, and by the way, congratulations, you are my first English speaking guest.
Oh, thank
So,
you.
and let's say it proper English, because I'm the one speaking the peasant English. You're the one speaking the right one. Um, so it's funny how that all kind of comes together, because my life was playing ice hockey,
Okay.
and I always wanted to fly, but I thought there was something for special people. And I thought about the military, but I'm not the kind of military. I'm not that disciplined, or I am disciplined in a way of doing something, but not of somebody telling me what to do. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I would fit in that environment. But yeah, once I stopped playing, I was 25, 26, and I thought, well, it's time to do something, right? Because I didn't make all the millions in professionals, so I had to work for a living, and I got into finance, and I did that. I was making good living, but
Mm-hmm.
all along, like you, I wasn't happy, and I kept kind of delaying, and then finally came across which is a good friend now, kind of a mentor. He was a captain at American Airlines, and he told me, what to do, how to go, uh, how to get all my ratings, and I started. It was basically, I'm like, F it, I'm gonna go and do it. So I did it, and I was doing, we're still working doing the finance, but paying for it, like you said, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't cheap, and I bet it's more expensive now. And yeah, that was like my tipping point. And a lot of people that I talk to here, they always tell me these kind of stories. Like one guy started to fly when he was 19, then life got in the way, didn't do it for 10, 15 years, and one day he's standing at a stop sign which shared a taxiway with an airport and a plane. Like he gave way to an airplane crossing, right? And
Oh,
he goes, you
wow.
know what? Shit, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And next day
Yeah.
he went in and started flying again. So it's these little things that bring people back into the love that they had for it. And I was just like you. Every time a plane flew by, I'd look up.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I got on an airplane, I was like, "Oh, that's a 767, 777." I was all a little nerdy on that part, and then finally decided to do it. And like you said, you know, it's hard,
Mm-hmm.
but would I do it over again? Yeah, because when I go to work, everybody kind of complains all the time. Everybody's never happy,
Agreed.
but but once you get in that airplane and it's kind of my time, and I get to do
Yeah.
what I really enjoy, and I don't feel like I go to work. So
Mm.
I
It's
see and hear.
it's funny you say that really because I think I hear a lot of people that started and then stopped and like you said, life gets in the way. And I remember someone once told me at the start, you won't get through flight training if it's not a passion. It
Right.
has to be a passion. But yeah, it's funny you say that because it has to be. And like you said, life does get in the way, but it's the passion that always drags you back in and pulls you back in to actually do it. Um, I think every other pilot I've spoken to as well has very, very similar stories. Very, very few pilots I speak to just are from money and just decided to do it. Like people have worked really hard. Um, And yes, it's expensive, but you make it happen. You really do make it happen.
Yeah, I looking at the overall cost, what I paid for it, and then, what I make now, I would say it is worth it.
I hope
But
so. Because
yeah,
coming from a student, coming from very, very recently past, I'm quite poor.
yeah. Well,
So,
we're all there, yeah, at some
yeah,
point, but then you kind of climb your way out of it. But
for all the wannabe pilots listening to this, you're going to be poor. Just going to
yeah,
tell you all.
just like in training, there's highs and lows and plateaus. That's also going to come with the financial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, cool. And so, how long have you, once you made that decision, how long has it been since you've been training, and uh, which stage are you at now?
So I have I'm very new. I very recently passed. Actually, what day are we on today? Friday. A week ago yesterday, I finished everything. So
Oh,
I'm currently in this limbo phase. Um, I actually have a very interesting story, which Ugh, I've not told anyone. I had a couple of pauses in flight training, just like you said, we all have ups and downs. Um, had some interesting things happen. So it took me exactly 24 months,
oh, that's
um,
very quick.
which is actually quite fast, given the fact I had a lot of visa issues. I'm a British. I went to Spain, had some very interesting moments. Um, and essentially I had to have 3 months out of not being in Spain. Um, so yeah, the 3 months out, the typical life gets in the way. I think a week here and a week there. But I think I probably could have done it a lot sooner. But again, now I finished. 24 months is actually quite quickly. And I remember the last few months of getting towards the end of flight school, I actually didn't want to leave. I really, really didn't want to because you become a family.
Yeah,
And yeah, this whole entire time I was thinking, I just want to get this done. I want to get this finished. I want to go to the airlines. I want to work. I don't know why I'm so desperate to work, but I want to work. And and now recently, I honestly have been saying to flight school, like, can you delay it a little bit? I'm not ready to leave yet. I'm not ready to finish because I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed every single moment. I'm saying that now. In the times, I probably didn't enjoy it. I was probably hating life at some points. Um, but yeah, a week ago yesterday, I sat my CPL skills test. Um, Hours of paperwork, and then I flew home to the UK Friday morning. Surprised my mum and dad of, oh, I finished. They had no idea, no idea. Um, and then yeah, I'm just enjoying a little bit of time in Italy right now.
cool. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Um, yeah, so right now I think like you've probably been through it. I'm in this weird limbo. Like I don't really know what to do with myself. I've been full-time flight school for 2 years. And I remember walking out of the airport the very final time thinking, shit, what do I do with myself now?
Yeah.
Like
What now?
yeah, where do I go? What do I do? And I rang my manager and I was like, what do I do? Like, well, where do I go? What's my next steps? How do I get my license? Like, I'm kind of just free as a bird and I've not felt this in so long. So I felt like a bit of a lost puppy.
Yeah, off the leash, right? So what do I do
Yeah.
now?
And I'm just running around in circles, like, where do I go?
Well, I would say after all that, because my training was, I mean, I paid for it on myself as well. So I started, my first flight was 1999, a little bit older than you.
That's,
Um,
I would have been 1 years old.
yeah, so I started in 1999. By the time interesting story, like you said, in the limbo. So I finished all my ratings in 2000. Man, I can't even remember. See, this is the old age coming through. Um, I think 2003, 2004. And I did my, in FAA, we did my commercial multi-engine instrument rating. And the same day, the airport that I trained in, there was a guy flying a King Air, a twin turboprop. And I came up to the guy and said, "Hey, do you need anybody flying this thing?" And, basic answer, he's like, "No, no, no, I got people. But here's my email. Send me your resume," right? And I'm like, "Okay." So I send it to him. And I think I clicked send at like 5 or 6 p.m. Next morning at 5 in the morning, he calls me and says, "How quickly can you get to the airport?" So
Wow.
this was my so this was my intro to like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, I've got, I think at that time I had like 280, 300 hours, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna take me, another 3, 4 years until I have, or maybe less, because at that time airlines in US were asking for 600, 650.
Hmm.
And so I was like, yeah, that's gonna take a while. And then within less than 12 hours, I get a phone call and I'm like, oh shit. So yeah, I show up to the airport and there it started for me, flying little, corporate. And I did
Yeah.
that for about on and off. It was sort of part-time for about 3 years, and then I built enough time to go to the airlines, and I got hired on with Delta Connection, and that was it. But yeah, you may think that it's like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen now and all this, but at some point it's just going to completely flip on you, and then you have to make a decision. What do I do?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, well, I'm hoping anyway. I'm hoping opportunities will come my way. I'm in
Yeah.
talks with quite a lot. Well, not a lot, but I like to have choices. And everyone keeps telling me like just pick one. Don't be afraid to jump ship as well. And I think like I don't know. Should I be afraid of that or
I would say this, try to choose from the ones that demand the least amount of, because in the beginning, I think in Europe, the worst part is that they try to get you in this bond of type ratings and stuff,
hmm
and try to select the ones that are probably read the fine print, because I went through that. I flew in US for 5 years and I went to the Middle East for nine.
Okay.
I went to Qatar, and there was a training bond which was 3 years,
Hmm.
but they did not take any money from me. It was just kind of the weight of keeping me there. So if I decide to go, I would owe them money. I don't know how they would get that money from me, but I would owe them money in general. And I would say every month it was progressively coming down until I hit 3 years, and then it was zero.
Yeah.
But there was a way of keeping you there. So I would advise you of kind of selecting airlines, if I can recommend anything, of the ones that are not going to try to hold that against you, withdraw money from your salary, because those salaries are not great to start with. And then if they're going to take money from you, which you just spent, I don't know how many hundred thousands of euros or pounds to get trained, you're kind of looking forward to making some money now, right? So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's yeah. I think the decision of trying to kind of weed out the ones that are going to demand and take money from you. I think that's the starting point there.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be surprised that almost all airlines not only require a bond, but actually require you to pay back monthly. There's only certain airlines that don't ask for any money, but like you said, require a bond. But with the finance side of things, it's funny really because so many people assume like yes down the line, but so many people assume it's like doesn't matter if you're 1 month in or 10 years in. Everyone's like, oh, but you'll be on good money, won't you? And I'm like, um,
Yeah.
maybe not. And then when I actually tell people like the first salaries, they're really, really surprised, really shocked. Everyone believes like, oh, it's an amazing paying job and I go back to you've got to enjoy doing it. You've got to love doing it because your first couple of years, I'm expecting it's going to be hard. It's going to be really, really hard.
Yeah, it's I always heard this, and maybe you have a different opinion, but I always thought that like the trend setting always started in US and it kind of moves west or east depending on sort of either months or years later. Is that when I started in US in a regional airline, I was making crap too. I mean, the money was sick. And now when I look at the same job for these basically kids coming in and getting jobs as first officers on CRJs or Embraer, now they're making, I think, a starting salary is uh, $90,000 a year. When I was starting, it was 24. I could apply for food stamps at that point because it was that bad. So I was like, I could ask for actually government help to pay for my meals or groceries, and yet now they're the money they're making is four times as much, which that's what it should have been way
Yeah.
back when. And I feel it's the same trend is that there is pilot demand, and yet it hasn't turned towards the pilots in favor. It's still on the company side where they're like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, if you want to work, you got to pay this, you got to do this.
Yeah.
Where now in US, it's completely different. Now they're pulling people off the street begging to go. I mean, they were offering bonuses. Where I work now, I work for UPS. You ever heard of that
Hmm.
company?
Yeah.
So the reason I say you heard of it because I just went through an airport and we have this special access for security. So my wife went through and my daughter and I was going to go through here. I didn't have to go through security, and I'm showing a badge to this security person, right? Not the security, but like the ones they hire at the airport to tell you to go left or right.
Right.
So
Okay.
I go, where's the security lane for? And she looks at me, she goes, that's not an airline. I said, yes, the plane I fly also has 18 wheels, but yeah, we're considered. We've got 350 airplanes, yeah. But it was funny. I was like, that's not an airline. I'm like, oh, okay, news to me. Um, but that's basically in a nutshell. Is like I think the trend will turn, but still for the time is I don't like to hear that because it's unfortunate. You spend all this time and money,
Mm.
and you'd expect to now, because just same as doctors, right? You go to get all this school, you coming out, and you go to a hospital, you make a decent living, and yet why do pilots have to go, through a different kind of set of rules?
Yeah. I fully believe and I fully agree with that. Like the amount of training we go through. Yeah, you can do it in 2 years, but it's hard. It's really, really hard. And, I've got to admit, half of my class in flight school, like, they failed their CAAs, either underestimating how hard it is or just not putting enough time and effort into it. Um, and I think the normal person just assumes like, oh, don't you just press a few buttons? Like, yes, we essentially we do,
Yeah,
um, but they don't understand like everything that goes into it. All the different subjects. They just think it's just flying a plane. So yeah, we put so much time and effort and money, so much money into it. Um, and I really, really hope Europe follow how America do things because you would not believe some of our starting salaries. You would not believe it.
I've heard, and like I said, I was born in Poland. I moved to U.S. when I was a young kid, so I grew up here. So I'm still Polish, but my mindset is of an American. I
Yeah.
grew up here. I probably ate more Italian food than Polish food because I grew up with Italians. But I can't believe how you know how these airlines are kind of I know they're offering jobs and they're showing it an opportunity, but the original or initial phase is very hard, and all the effort that you put into it, I think it should be rewarded with something better than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually talking about this to my partner the other day, and he's saying like, why don't you think of this airline and this airline? I'm like, honestly, I'd earn more working in a bar or working in a restaurant. He was like,
Hmm.
no way. I was like, honestly, seriously, I would earn more working in a restaurant. And I was looking at loads of different airlines. I actually want to go into cargo. Um, I'd prefer it. I don't deal with passengers. I don't deal with crew. I would personally prefer it. And yeah, I was basically going through the finances the other day, and I was thinking, like, how am I going to do this? I'm I have so much to pay back as well, and I think new pilots will be afraid to admit that. Like, we have a lot to pay back, and honestly, I was thinking, should I just go work in a restaurant?
Yeah, then you can flash to people your pilot license and be like, "Hey, leave it a little extra. Huh?
Yeah.
I got to pay this off." Yeah, I know it's hard in the beginning, but I can assure you it's going to get better. Um, and for your cargo idea, yes, because that's what I do, and
Yeah,
it is as they say, is the easiest shit I've ever done. So,
really.
oh yeah, I did passenger for 14 years. Well, with the charter, 17, and now I've been doing cargo for the last started my fifth year, um, and it's the best. Boxes don't complain. There's no fevers. There's no stomach aches over the Atlantic. So
Yeah,
it's very, yeah.
yeah.
We just, the
And
biggest worry, sorry to break, but the biggest worry we have is catering. So that's it.
and what is your not personal, but what is your schedule like? You struggle
So,
with your schedule with like work-life balance?
we have a lot of options here. That's also a good deal is to find a company that's going to sort of give you that life in balance. A lot of them offer 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Some offer, day trips. So we have a variety of this because we have a big international footprint, but we also do a lot of domestic stuff. So a lot of people will choose domestic because they want to be home more often, stay on the same sleep schedule. Although domestic, they mostly fly at night. So I think that schedule's for vampires. But and then they say like you fly at night. I'm like, well, majority of my flights are actually during the day. It's just 15 hours time difference, so I
Hmm.
really don't know what time of the day is. But the balance is sort of you choose. Of course, it's based on seniority. So it is, the more senior you are, the more options you have. Um, but I would say from a cargo standpoint, many airlines offer that sort of a week on, week off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and then sort of you build your life around that. And I don't know if you have a family or not, but then you kind of balance between, okay, I'll be home on these days, I'll be home, back, I'm leaving Monday, I'll be back next Monday. So my deal is usually go out for about 8 days, and then I'm home for about 12. I
Okay.
fly somewhere around 75 to 80 hours a month, and I can get that done sometimes in a 12-day trip. So, um, it's up to you. As I'm older now and more experienced, I really don't want to fly that much anymore. I just want to stay in Dubai for 3 days, Hong Kong for 3 days. We still get a minimum day's credit, so it doesn't matter if we fly or not. We still get paid. So it's sort of, you decide what you want to do. A lot of people sit on what we call reserve or standby, where they're on call, and if it's not the busy time of the year, some guys or girls don't fly for 2 months. They beg for landings when they come and they finally get a call. They're like, "Hey, I need a couple landings because I'm about to expire." Because you need one every 90, like
Yeah.
just like you. And so we kind of like, okay, yeah, if you buy me a couple beers, then you get to do this landing for me. And that's how we work this out. But yeah, you can choose how you want to work. Of course, depends on seniority, but you sort of pick your own schedule. That's how, in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nutshell.
Oh, that must be nice. Doesn't sound all that bad.
No, like but you but you have to pay your dues. That's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, you sort of have to get to a certain point, but yeah, it's doable. You kind of
Mm.
have to, just like you went through training. It was hard. There were bad days, good days. It's the same here, but at the end of there is light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, one day.
yeah.
Hopefully it won't be anytime, it won't be long in as well, at least.
Well, I think you're on the right track. Now, tell me. So I've seen horses. That was your previous kind of, was it a hobby, more of a serious thing?
So that was essentially my profession. That's what I did at first. I've grown up in the countryside in the British lovely countryside. Grown up in like a horsey equestrian farm life. Um, Started riding horses, I think, before I could walk. And that was kind of the path I was going down. And I did that basically all the way up until mm, professionally. I started professional around like 14 years old. I rode ponies, then went into horses. And probably up until maybe midway through, I set up my businesses and I just ran out of time. All of this was unintentional. I just kind of winged it through life. I literally just winged it. You know, those people that had all these hopes and dreams, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. I had no idea. Like, flying has always been a dream, but I never thought it was a possibility. I never thought, I didn't even know how to do it. I didn't know how much it was. I had no idea. I just thought I would love to do it. Um, so yeah, I rode horses, specifically show jumping professionally, purely did that. Traveled around Europe, loved it. Great, amazing. Um, but you soon realize that as you get older, there's no money in it. Like, you love it, but the amount of hours you work and the amount of responsibility is, you're on the breadline.
It's like me when I started flying.
Yeah, basically. And then, so yeah, I did that. I had a couple of horses in at the time. Um, and COVID hit, and obviously all of competing was gone. No one was buying horses anymore. No one, like, why would you? So I thought, right, now what else do I do? And at the time, I'd started going to just get my own beauty treatments done. And it was a girl I went to school with, and she was like, oh, like, I've done this for a couple of years. It's amazing. It's great. Like, you really should do it if you've no idea what to do. So I thought, oh, okay. And it started in my bedroom, actually. COVID had just, about 6 months before this, and I was just setting up, and then COVID hit. And obviously, everything was a little bit in limbo. So I used all of that time to train, did all of my training. And then when things got back up and running, I don't know what it was like in the US, but in the UK, it was okay, actually. We had a few months of total lockdown, but otherwise, it was actually okay. They tried to get things up and running as soon as possible. So, um, yeah, I think I just got hit the market at the right place at the right time. And within 3 months, I was thinking, like, I think I need a salon. Like, I really think I need a salon. So I started renting this place and it was going great. So I ended up buying a place. Then I hired someone else. I think about 2 years in, I ended up getting another place. And I was loving it at this time. I was really, really loving it. But I was getting up at 4 a.m., riding horses, doing that until like 10 a.m. Then I was going to the salon, working in the salon, finishing, coming back to the horses. I had 6 horses, 7 horses in at the time, riding the horses, competing on weekends. I'm a little bit of a workaholic. We'll get onto that.
Clearly.
So yeah, I was trying to manage both and it just wasn't working. And I chose the one that was bringing in the money. And so yeah, I got rid of all of the horses and kept just the one, which I still have now. ran the selling business, and then I hit beginning of flight school. I was actually thinking about it for a couple of weeks, and again, like I started to look into it, realizing, wow, like it's £100,000. This is a lot of money. There's not many people that have this kind of money. I at the time had a house deposit saved in the bank account, and I thought, do I use that? Do I not use that? Um, I did, obviously. Obviously used that. um, I took kind of like a loan out from myself to myself with my business, and I'm not gonna lie, mum and dad helped me as well. Shout out to mum and dad. I
Good.
definitely have to pay them back soon. They're getting on my case now. Have you got a job? Are you getting a job? Need some money? Are you getting a job? It's like, okay, okay. Just enjoying some time in Italy. And actually, flight school was probably really, really difficult for me. So, as you know, I decided to learn in Spain. And I was actually at flight school Monday to Friday. I got the last flight home from Barcelona to Manchester on Friday night every single week. Um, was home for like midnight Friday night in the UK. I worked in the salon all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Got the last flight back from Manchester to Barcelona Sunday night. I'm back at flight school Monday morning.
Wow.
I have no idea how I did that. I did that for the first year straight, and I was basically like a zombie. Like, you know how hard flight school is anyway. Um, yeah, I was like a zombie, and it got to a point I thought I can't do this anymore. So I dropped it to every other week, and then every third week, and then I started to just go home like once every now and then. And I also realized, I'm getting towards the end of flight school now. I'm not going to be able to do this much longer. So yeah, it was hard. It was really, really hard, but it paid me. It paid my way, paid for my apartment. Um, it was a real struggle, and people don't see that side of things. People think, "Oh, that looks amazing," and you live such a cool life, and you do this and you do that. But people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. And I think every single day, I think I cried every day.
So I think with you having that discipline from riding horses and being there all the time and how much time you put into it, I think that sort of transferred over to your flight training.
Yeah, I think
It's
so
it's
too.
it's it's sort of similar like when I played hockey. I knew it wasn't just going to be an hour practice a day. That was another working out, running, doing special skills, which was basically a full-time job.
Yeah.
So it's a similar thing, knowing that once you have that discipline and that mindset, you transfer it over to the other thing that you want to do or really want to do. Because if it's just something that you treat as a hobby, you kind of blow it off once in a while. But if you know that's something that you want to do seriously, the next phase, then you definitely put all your effort into it, like you did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was tough. And again, like I'd do it all over again. And I honestly think it's probably made it more like a wow moment. Like, wow, I actually did this. I managed all of that, and I've still come out the other side and managed to do it. There's a couple of guys at my flight school, and I think there's maybe only two or three, and they've come from a lot of money. Mum and dad are paying. They've not had any financial problems, not had to do any work, probably never had a job in their life. And I just think, fair play. You've gotten through it. Fair enough. Like, congratulations. But do you get the same satisfaction? I don't know.
Not the same stress level, not the same, I would say. Um, you basically planning your life out every step, right? Because if
Hmm.
somebody's just worrying about flight school, then whatever, right? It's just
Yeah.
this and nothing else. You've got probably 10 other things you got to worry about. It's just not a salon. It's people that you hire. It's paying all the bills, some
Yeah.
schedule. Of course, you're the first line of defense, right? So you're
Yeah,
the
of
first
course.
first point of contact, and yeah, it's a completely different story. I did it, I worked and then I did it on the side. Same. It wasn't that I just focused on flying and reading. There was much more to that. So
Mm, yeah.
yeah, good.
I remember there was a time, I think it was my first lot of exams, and it sounds so small, but I think it was like the night before an exam, and one of the girls at the salon had called me, "Oh, the electric's gone out, the electric's gone out." And I'm like, I've got exams to do, like I can't be doing this right now. Something so small, but it's on your mind
Yeah.
constantly, and um like your hockey would be exactly the same. Like it becomes like your baby, and it becomes like a massive focus, and then you're trying to focus on that, and also I'm thinking about principles of flight.
So now maybe that's going to transfer over to you being, multitasking, because in flying, that's basically what it is. It's like a three-dimensional thing, as you can
Mm,
probably tell me, is anytime I take people flying, and I got back into general aviation, um, every time I take them flying and they're thinking about learning, and I said, well, let me show you something, because you think, like you said, we're only doing a few things. It's really easy, right? We're just flying, pushing buttons. Although in my airplane, there's that little one, there isn't any buttons. But how hard could this be? So I go, okay, so let's just do a simple thing. We're gonna fly this heading, right?
hmm
And then so I let them fly, and they're like, oh, this is easy. I go, what? Why are you climbing? Why are you descending? And then he goes, oh, okay, correcting. So then he's correcting this. Now his heading is off. I go, what
Yeah.
about your speed? So I just keep telling him, like, there's three things or more you have to think at the same time.
hmm
And that's basically like you're representing, somebody called me, I've got this, I've got exams, what do I do? So you're constantly, you're shifting your mind. But I think it might come very helpful down the line, because whenever it is to, working, flying, or doing checklists, and then somebody calls and does this, kind of interferes, interrupts, you're always going to have that discipline of kind of putting things together in the right format. So it'll be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes me laugh when people say, "Oh, all you do is press some buttons."
Right.
And
Yeah, yeah.
now I'm at a point, and I think, yeah, yeah, we do. You just whatever.
Right. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, we do. I'd like to see you fly, but okay.
No, 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 no. I don't think you'd find a way to the simulator building. So that's
Exactly, exactly.
half of half of them wouldn't know how to follow GPS. So,
Yeah,
oh, that's
exactly.
awesome. So my company is based in Kentucky. That's their mecca. That's Louisville, Kentucky,
hmm
and next to it, I'm sure you heard of it. Well, right next to where the airport is the Churchill Downs for Kentucky Derby. So this is
Okay,
where
yeah.
yeah, so it's right next door. So in May, first week of May, that place goes nuts, because you've never seen so many private jets in your life. The whole airport is stacked. There's another two airports nearby. They're all stacked. People are flying in for the whole week, because it's just not the Kentucky Derby. There's just, we all think of the one race, but there's races going on every day for like the whole week.
Mm-hmm.
But about 50 or 60 miles down the road is a town called Lexington,
hmm
and that is all horse farms. That is all like high-end horse farms. All the sheikhs and all the big money horses are all there. So it's really an interesting place, that there's a lot of, like you said, you come from a little countryside. Here it's all horses, and yeah, I hear a lot of nice stories. And if you visit there, it's one of the most beautiful places, because it's kind of rolling hills but all
Yeah.
green. I mean, there's tons of cash.
Oh, I'll have to visit. Have you visited at all with family or friends?
I've I've
Have you
I've
taken the
flown.
wife?
No, no. My wife hates flying and probably hates riding horses. So the best thing is to just get in the car and drive to Starbucks. That's the best. Uh, um, I've been there a few times, because when I flew for a little regional airline, we used to fly into Lexington, and it was one of the coolest layovers, because you were basically in this little town that that all you saw is horses everywhere, and I mean some big money players because all their horses are there, and so it was really cool, really cute town. I mean, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah,
So
that
it
does
was
sound
interesting.
nice. Well,
We used
hopefully
to
I
fly,
will. I will get to visit one day, hopefully.
yeah. We used to fly horses as well when I was in Qatar. We used to do. I flew a 330, so we did half passenger, half cargo, and we used to take a lot of horses from Abu Dhabi or Doha into Stansted, and
Hmm.
then they would take them out. I've never seen people being this pampered like those horses. It was
Oh, it is unbelievable. Absolutely
yes,
unbelievable. Yeah.
incredible. I mean, we had two guys on the airplane, and every 10 minutes they went back, checked the water, temperature, gave them something, and it was eight horses, four little ones and four bigger ones. They were kind of stacked one on one together. And when we set the takeoff thrust, we felt them running, to galloping, right? So sounds like extra horsepower for this takeoff, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
they're very, very pampered. People don't realize as well, and like the different types of flying jobs. And when I do say to people, "Oh yeah, I'd like to do cargo," everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that cargo even exists." When people say pilot, when we say pilot, everyone just assumes like, "Oh, what airline do you work for?" And they expect for me like British Airways. They expect me to say like, "Oh yeah, I want to go to British Airways." Um, but yeah, it's funny you say that because then I explain, well, yeah, obviously, like there's a lot of cargo, like normal cargo. There's animal car, like there's taking animals, there's taking interesting things. Um, but yeah, people don't understand, and I don't know why really, but yeah, people don't understand, and horses is very popular, very, very popular to fly around. I have tons of friends that fly the horses between the UK and Miami. I think Miami's the hub, isn't it?
Uh, for horses,
Yeah, for horses going to the US, I'm sure they stop in Miami or Atlanta.
maybe Atlanta, and then also Cincinnati, Ohio, because that's
Mm,
close by to all the horse farms. Because that's where majority are in that either
right.
I would say Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana. That's where the majority of that. There's everything has its little place. There's wine country, then there's horse farms, and then it's just big place. Huh?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's
I've
interesting.
I've spent quite a lot of time in the US actually. Whereabouts are you living now? Sorry.
So I'm about an hour and a half outside of Chicago.
Okay. Okay. I've been to Chicago. Really, really liked
Yeah,
it. Really liked
good.
it. Yeah. I would like to go back. I spent one night there. So I
Yeah,
would
I
really
think
like to go back.
yeah, you need a little more because there's
Yeah.
a lot of variety, a lot of things to see, and a lot of good food.
Mm,
The ethnic, when I go to UK, same thing. There's like London, there's options.
yeah.
In Chicago, it's every neighborhood has a different nationality or somewhat, and so you could like where I grew up was all Italians. I was like the only Polish kid, so I
Really?
basically yeah, I grew up on pasta and pizza, and so when somebody tells me best pizza's here, and I'm like, bullshit. I know what good pizza is. Yeah, yeah. So
Now
yeah,
I'm
no,
in the
it's
place for good pizza right now.
uh, hey, although I've been many times to Italy, and I would have to kind of dig around to find good pizza. You have to get out of the touristy places,
Yeah,
right?
do you know what? I agree. You have to find like the family places, the really small,
Yeah,
just outside of the city, really small places where you would probably look at and think, I'm not eating there.
yeah,
They're the best places.
yes. Because I've gone to Venice, Milan, and Rome, and that was the first thing I would ask friends that were Italians. They're like, "Do not go to the city.
Mm.
Go, go to this little dive, and that's when they would recommend like the places to go and see because it was always the best."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful here. Really, really nice. I only got here late last night, so I've been trying to manage. this podcast. Um, but yeah, it's lovely. Really, really, really nice.
Where are you at? Which part?
I am in Trento, well, around Trento. I'm in the middle of some mountains. I'm just looking outside. I keep on looking outside and I just think, oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
So where did you said you did your training in Spain?
Yeah, I did my training just outside of Barcelona.
Okay. Because I just flew. I mean, I had a really nice picture of Barcelona. We were flying to Dubai and we came right over Barcelona and I took a picture out. So I was showing the other guy. I go, hey man, I used to stay in this hotel. This is a nice beach. You know, it's all planned out. But where's the airport there? It's not at the main airport, right?
No, there's quite a lot of airports around Barcelona. So there's obviously Barcelona, like El Prat, that's the main one. Then there's, I think, about 100 miles away, there's Girona. So we train in Girona. There's Reus as well, which I think is maybe 70 miles. Um, and a huge training airport is Sabadell. Oh, there's like, I think there's about 8 flight schools at Sabadell. Um, and
Oh,
we also train out of Lleida Airport, which is halfway between Barcelona and Zaragoza. Um, we do our phase 4, which is the IR phase. We do that actually out of Andorra Airport, well,
oh,
Paseo. So yeah, we managed to fly around quite a lot of airports, to be honest. We have partners with, I think, majority of all of the airports in northern Spain. So we actually get the opportunity to fly to quite a lot of airports, which I'm not sure many flight schools get the opportunity to. So really, really nice because one day I could be flying into Andorra and it's beautiful, snowy mountains. Really, really like there's one runway, so it's interesting. There's no pappy lights. There's um it's an RMP approach, like it's very interesting. And then the next day we could be flying down to near Madrid and it's 30 degrees and really, really
yeah.
warm. So I've had the best of both worlds actually. It's been real, real nice.
Did you guys fly into Zaragoza?
No, we're not allowed.
Oh,
Um
because military or
yeah, I think it's a huge military area, isn't it?
so we used to do a
Um
lot of cargo because you know that brand Zara, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it would say Zara. But we used to fly in there because it was a huge cargo place because of that, you know, that brand. And we'd fly stuff in from Bangladesh because that's where they made all this stuff. And then they would
Okay.
stamp made in Spain, and then we would fly it out, right? But I used to
Really?
spend like, oh yeah, and I used to spend like 2, 3 days there. And initially I hated it. I thought it was like this is middle of nowhere. I don't like it. And then I flew there with a good friend, and every night it was like we wake up, have breakfast. Okay, 12 o'clock, let's meet for lunch, have a little jamon, sangria, and then 9 p.m. We come back, get a nap, and then 9 p.m. head out again for tapas. And we're like 9 p.m. Nobody's out at 9 p.m.
Mm.
By 10:30, 11 at night is where everybody came out. I'm like, it's not even a weekend. It's just a regular day. But then it got real. I loved it. After that, it was great because we had our, favorite places to go, and it was interesting. But yeah, it's funny how you'd see the difference because of Catalonia, and then that I think it's called Aragon, the
Mm-hmm.
region
Yep.
where you flew. It's like it was green, 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 and then you hit that Aragon region, and it's all rocks.
Yep.
And I was like, what happened, right? Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a really interesting place.
Do you know the culture was actually the most difficult part that I found anyway. I mean, I'm British. We eat totally different foods. You know, we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have dinner at 6, 7 p.m., probably similar to you guys.
Yeah,
And I found it so difficult going to Spain because nothing is open until 8 p.m.
yeah,
I want to be finished and laying in bed by then. So I remember first going and I'm thinking, I really need some food, but there's nothing open. Anyway, you do get used to it, but it's probably one thing I found really difficult. and it's loud. It's so loud at 10, 11 p.m. Like, it's as if
Yeah.
their day has just totally shifted this way.
Right.
Um, but yeah, they eat, their normal time to eat is midnight, and I have no idea how. But then they get up at 10 a.m. and
Yeah.
mm,
When you're coming from the West, like a Western culture, the UK, US, there's
yeah,
like you start your day at 6 or 7, and you work, and everything's open, everything's available, and then you get to that mindset, and then you're like, these people are so lazy. Nobody's working.
I know.
How does anything
That's,
happen?
that's the first thing I thought. I thought, why are these people so lazy? And then I've kind of accustomed to it, and now I think, "Do you know what? I think I quite like this lifestyle."
Yeah, why not? Yeah, yeah. No, it's like we live in this environment that is so like go, 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 right? And yet you go to these countries. I mean, I think I went to Madrid and I'm walking around, and this is middle of like June, July, where it's just all vacation, right?
Mhm.
People everywhere, tourists, and there's a shop that's closed for a vacation. I'm like, this is your highest earning potential right now, and it's like closed for a month. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah,
it's crazy. I found it really funny when I first got there. Again, I'm really used to the culture now, but I first got there, and there was one time that we got a text the day before from like the flight management saying, "Oh, there's no flying tomorrow." I was like, "Why?" It was just like a random Wednesday or a Thursday. Oh, it's Spain have decided they want a national anti-work day.
just last minute.
Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, random, okay."
It sounds like France when they're like, oh, okay, tomorrow it's the taxi drivers that strike, and on Wednesday it's going to be the
Mhm.
baggage handlers. It's always something, right? Uh,
Yeah, I did find it very interesting, but I've gotten used to it. The only thing I've not gotten used to is eating at midnight. I can't do it.
yeah,
Um, and also when I used to fly home and come back on Sunday, obviously I'd have nothing in my fridge over the weekend in Spain. And I'm in a city outside of Barcelona. It's a very, very local, just locals. And their Sundays are also the same Mondays. So shops aren't open Mondays. So I remember I used to land in Barcelona and drive home on a Sunday night, and I'd think, I can't go to the supermarket, I can't go to the shop, I've got no milk, nothing. And then I'd always totally forget. I'd wake up Monday and think I'll go Monday. Nothing. So I just think, right, well, I guess I'll have to fast for 2 days.
that's it. You were ahead of your time in this fasting phase because now everybody's doing it. You're like, yeah, I figured this out a long time ago.
Yeah, quite literally. But no, it's been really nice and real nice to experience 2 years in a different city. And I mean, now I'm staying out in Europe, so I don't think I can go back to Spain though. I don't particularly want to go back to Spain. Um, but yeah, it's been real nice to actually experience different countries because there's not many people that get to do that as well.
Yeah,
Um,
no, and
you know,
Europe is very nice for that because you're just an hour or two away from a completely different culture, right?
yeah, absolutely. The time I've spent there, even I have no idea how I've had the time, but Mallorca, Ibiza, south of France, they're all, 20-minute flight away. And Friday, I'd just think, oh, I'm not going to go home this weekend. I'll go to Ibiza. So I'd just spend the weekend in Ibiza, or I'd, I think, where did I fly to? Maybe Venice. Had a weekend in Venice. Um, Interesting, actually, we did our theory exams in Lithuania. So we were traveling backwards and forwards for exams. Again, beautiful place. I don't know if you've been there, but stunning place. Really,
Yeah.
really underrated. Um, I've kind of fallen in love with Lithuania actually. Like, yeah, really, really like it. And there was one time that we were flying back. We'd just finished our exams and we were flying 2 days later, training flying. And me and my flight school, all our friends, we were like, shall we just go to Milan tonight? Just have a night out. And that's the beauty of Europe. Everywhere is so close. Within an hour, we're in Milan, night out, got the first
Yep.
flight out back to Barcelona the next morning. Great. No one had even known we were there.
Try doing that at 50 years old. You'd be out for a week. Yeah, it doesn't. I don't. How I say, consume alcohol or any other things like I used to when I was younger, because now it's like a 3 day event. I've got three. I go through three different phases when if I go out with friends or whatever. I'm just, yeah. It's like first day, car hit me. Second day, I something with my stomach. Third day, my head's spinning. I don't know what's going on, but so yeah, the repayment of that poison is very long as we get older. Yeah.
Well, I'll make the most of it now then, and whilst I'm not doing
Yes.
typewriting as well.
Yeah. So what would you say, like, you're gonna have your little downtime? I just looked up. Yeah, you're in the mountains. You're close to Bergamo. And
Mm.
if I could recommend, if you're gonna rent a car, have you ever been to Lake Como?
Um, do you know what? It's one place I've not been. We do have a car here as well. We're here for a couple of days, and I think we're gonna go down to Lake Garda. But I've not been to Lake Como. It's one place I've not been to.
Amazing. I used to fly into Milan, Malpensa, and then we had a deal. We stayed at the airport at a Sheraton hotel. Right downstairs was Hertz car. We used to get those little Fiats, those
Mm,
500 for like 19 euro a day.
brilliant.
Nothing. Yeah. So I used to rent that. I used to tell my crew, I'm like, who wants to go? So you get one or two girls, like, all right, all right. Go, we're just gonna drive around that lake and you'll see these little windy streets, little shops, restaurants, sit here, have a glass of wine, nice pizza or whatever. And I remember going on like the bluest sky day that I've ever seen right around this lake, and there was a seaplane flying around. I'm like, man, this is it, right?
Yeah.
This is where I want to retire. Just have a little plane and come out in the morning, quiet. It was great. Oh,
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
So if you have a chance, I would recommend it.
Yeah. I think we've got a pretty open book really. But actually, I totally forgot about Lake Como. Never been. I've seen it so many times, and I keep on thinking I've got to go there. I've really, really got to go there. So yeah, we've got a couple of days here, and we've got some friends up in Innsbruck. So we're gonna go up there, and they're having like a bit of a party type. And then yeah, maybe we will try and squeeze in Lake Como there, maybe a day in Lake Como,
Yeah.
and then drive back to Germany.
Ah, it's a nice drive though, right? It's all through the Alps.
Stunning drive, really, really nice drive, absolutely stunning. Um, I can't complain. I literally can't complain. There's me
No.
sometimes thinking, oh, I'm sick of traveling and I'm sick of this. I'm sure you probably think the same. Really tired of traveling, but then I kind of pinch myself and I think, do you know what? Not many people get to do this. And whether it's
So
inside or outside of flying, I do travel quite a lot, and yeah, I shouldn't complain.
like I told you, we go to work and we're always, oh, this could be better and that. But every time we kind of fly through a nice area, for instance, we go from Europe to Asia. We fly over Turkey, different mountains of all the, Kazakhstans, all these places, and you're just looking down. I mean, and then, sometimes we fly over the Himalayas and you're like K2's here, another big mountains here. And I'm thinking, or I tell the other person, I say, hey, imagine sitting in the office. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that, but just imagine
Hmm.
you're sitting there. You might have a window or you might not. You see the same faces all the time. And I go, and we get to do this,
Yeah,
you know, see a, sunrise or sunset. So, I mean, it's quite nice. And the privilege of,
absolutely.
of, of being somewhere, 12 hours away in a completely different place. It's quite nice. I enjoy
Yeah,
that a lot.
absolutely. I fully agree. And that goes back to the very start of the conversation. And actually, you know, money is kind of only one half of all of this. But like this, we get to have an office view at 30 odd thousand feet and travel the world and see and experience so many different things and cultures. And like you said, see like have views of the Himalayas, of Kazakhstan, of the Pyrenees, the Alps. There's not many jobs in the world that get to do that. So actually, really, the money side is only half of it. The rest is experiences we can't complain about.
No. And then you'll see you'll meet quite a lot of interesting people. Like just with me flying was, I would fly with doctors, attorneys that hated their jobs and said, "Oh, I want to be a pilot and do something else." I always
Mm,
wanted to do it. Same, there was a lot of pressure from the parents. Parents were doctors or attorneys. So, the next step for you is to go to law school or med school. And they're like, I did it, but I hated it. And I want to do something else. They made enough money where they could pay for their training. And it was quite interesting. Even flight attendants that I had, I think more of them had a way higher education than me. And I'm like, what are you doing here? I'm like, well, I hate doing it. I just want to travel. So they did it for like 2, 3
yeah.
years. And a lot of them would get retrained and they decided to be pilots as well.
hmm
So
I've
yeah,
actually
it
had
was cool.
quite a lot of flight attendants message me saying like, "Hey, I'm a flight attendant. Like, want some advice at flight school?" And I think great, like, do it, absolutely do it. But another interesting thing about flight attendants, they absolute huge respect to them because they actually have a really difficult job. But it's quite a short career for those. They don't ever like to continue doing it. I think most, I
Except
always, sorry?
except in US when there's like 83-year-olds. I'm not, I'm not I'm not kidding when I say there was one that retired from Delta and I think it was she or he at 87.
Wow, it's normally Southwest or something that I see all the older
Yeah,
flight
that's
attendants.
they all yeah, they all have that little, some sing, some dance, I don't know, but uh, yeah, but it's interesting. I'm like, how long do you want to do this? And the best part was is they would retire from like Delta and then they come work for us at Delta Connection. And I'm like, you just can't let go, can you?
It's a great job though. You still get
Uh,
to travel. It is a great job. I say to everyone, like any cousins, younger people, that are in the family or something, I always say, go be a flight attendant. You get to travel the world. Go apply at Emirates. You get to travel the world, go to some amazing places. You don't have to do it forever. Do it for 5 years. And I don't know, like I think everyone's really sort of afraid to do it. I'm actually afraid to travel the world. But I try and
yeah.
recommend it to everyone. If you don't want to be a pilot, be a flight attendant. It's
And it
amazing.
opens your eyes a lot because I used to have different opinions about different regions. And then once I went to Qatar, we flew everywhere. And I had,
Mhm.
and I work with, I think we had 145 nationalities. So you would meet people from completely different places I never even heard of. And it was amazing that whatever mindset you had about that place or whatever you heard was completely different than what you experienced. So yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Cool. So all right. So where do you see yourself in 2 years?
Not being in debt.
Well, why don't you try to text my wife first and find out why she keeps asking to do all these different improvements in my house, and then we can be on the same page.
No, 2 years. I mean, 2 years. It's not a long time when you're a first pilot, are you? When you're new into it. I just like to get into a nice airline. Get my type rating. Ideally, not pay for it. Um, get some hours under my belt, and I would like to hopefully get in with the Lufthansa group. Really, really like to. I'm based myself in Germany. I'm currently based in Germany. Well, kind of in the move between moving out of Spain into Germany. I'd like to get in the Lufthansa group. Um, I'm trying to get into either Eurowings or Aerologic. Do you know Aerologic? It's a Lufthansa DHL cargo. I'm actually
Yes.
trying to get into there. That's the cargo I want to work for. Um, obviously, beggars can't be choosers right now, so I'll take what I can get. But ideally, yeah, I want to get into a nice airline. really nice people, hopefully work with a good crew, and just get some hours under my belt, get some experience. But Lufthansa's the goal primarily for now. Anyway, ask me in 2 years, and I might have changed my mind.
Yeah, I think out of whole Europe, I think the Germans have sort of like the best idea and best setup
Yeah,
for the whole region, right?
I think they've kind of
Yeah,
nailed it with everything, to be honest. They seem to do well at everything.
yeah. Good enough that I had a BMW for the last 10 years. So I think it's okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've been running around in a BMW up and down around Europe, and it's been, touch wood, amazing.
Yeah. But now tell a German that you have a BMW and you're like, yeah, no, BMW. Yeah. Cool. So you're thinking now of living basically in Germany. That's where you would be planning to stay.
Yeah, that's where I'm. A general base. I'm expected I'm probably going to have to move around. Like at the moment, the Eurowings are higher in Prague, so I probably will have to maybe, for example, I'm sure move around, but primarily based in Germany. My partner's German, so met him in Barcelona actually. So yeah, I've been dragged to Germany.
Hey, I'm often in Cologne, Germany. So if you ever end up there,
Oh, not far at all. An hour and a half.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
there quite
so
often because that's our big sorting facility for Europe. So everything comes into Cologne and then goes out.
oh, okay, nice. Yeah, so it's not far from there, about an hour and a half. Because there's Dusseldorf, Cologne, and we're about here.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that is the plan. Obviously, they don't always go to plan.
Okay.
But
So my last question
okay.
would be if somebody was thinking about uh, getting into flying, right? Any recommendation, any way that you would tell them to do the same as you or anything different, what would you tell them?
I would I would say my one word of advice would be try not to think about the doubts. Try not to think about the what ifs, because I know a lot of people do. What if I can't do this? What if I can't do that? What if? And just do it. Just literally just do it, because so many people procrastinate, and before you know it, you're 6 months down the line and you've not done anything. I think my first word of advice would do it and deal with any of the problems when you cross the bridge. I know that's probably not the best advice in the world, but to me, that's actually how you get stuff done. Um, I know there's a lot of problems, where and how am I going to pay for it? And obviously, say start saving as soon as possible, but just do it. If you're thinking about doing it, I honestly know no one would regret it. No one. I always thought, but what if I don't want to do that in a couple of years? Or what if I fail, like everyone would think? What if I do it and I don't like it? Well, I come out with a license. I've experienced time in a different country. I've experienced doing something totally different. What is the worst case? Well, I decide not to do it. Okay, I'll be 100 grand in debt, but a hell of a lot of life experience. So yeah, I would say my first advice would be just to go and do it. And second, I don't actually know if I do have a second advice, because I don't think you should actually think about it. Um, yeah, I think always chase your dream. Literally always chase your dream. You don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's going to happen. I think so many people are so afraid to actually go out and do what they want to do, and they sit in their 9 to 5 jobs and just wonder for the rest of their life. You know, I hate to be negative, but do you really want to just lay in your deathbed when you're older and think, I wish I'd have done that, or
Yeah.
I wish I'd have done this? So I'm going to say, um, just chase the dream, just chase it. And even if you don't, you'll be halfway further than anyone else would be as well. That's in the same
Exactly.
position.
I guess one more question would have, did you do a lot of research on schools, or was that something that just popped up?
I did a lot of research. Originally, I can answer this question a lot better now, but I remember at first thinking, I don't know what this is, and I don't know what that is. Like I was deciding between modular and integrated, and between the NPL, CPL, ATPL. I don't know if yours is the same. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what all these licenses are. Like, which one do I get? I have no idea. And when you're first starting out, you have no idea. And there's so many things I wish I did different. I actually wish I did modular and not integrated, um, for a number of reasons. More personal to my case, I could have probably carried on working a little bit more. I could have probably carried on with the horses a little bit more. Um, I've pretty much not done any of that for 2 years. Um, but I originally applied to the EasyJet program, and I was going to go down the EasyJet program. They have a little bit of a bond, uh, the small prints, and I was put off by that. I wanted the all-round general ATPL qualification. So I was going along with the EasyJet program, and I thought, actually, no, I don't want to do this. I was looking at um, all different schools, basically all around Europe. I looked at Germany. I actually looked at Poland because Poland's a great place to fly, really, really good place to fly. Um, British Airways didn't have their cadet program at the time. Jet2 have just started their cadet program. There was none of that 2 years ago. TUI is also a great one. They've got a cadet program at the minute, but there was none of that. And I think I just had a look at a few. I went to the Barcelona, like, what is it, like, airline convention? I can't remember what it's called, but I went to that and walked around a couple of flight schools. And they're all money making schemes. They all
Yeah,
just
yeah,
want
yeah.
to
Of course.
sell you the license. And we can guarantee this, and we can guarantee this, and we can do this. I basically just picked the best of the bad ones. I picked the one that I thought was going to give me the best opportunities. And, I'm not saying anything bad. My flight school was great, but they can't promise you anything. They they will never promise you anything. So I actually say to people now, if you still got a life, like, do modular. Just go to your local flight school and get your PPL license. Over time, go and get your instrument rating, go and get your multi. Like, there's no rush either. I think I was under the impression the whole entire time that I wanted to rush. I wanted to get it done. And really, there's no rush at all. Um, and I think that's the mistake everyone makes, everyone. And flight schools sell you this 18-month dream. You can do it in 18 months.
Right.
Yeah, you can only do it if every single thing goes to plan and you pass everything, pass every exam. There's no delays, no weather problems, no. Then, yeah, of course, but that's not realistic.
You
Um,
should ask them, do you guarantee the weather for the next 18 months to be perfect?
well, this is another thing. Like, I was delayed 3 weeks doing my MCC because there wasn't any available. All our instructors work in the airlines, and the airlines are desperate for pilots, so they weren't free. So I was delayed like 3 weeks for my MCC, 3 weeks for my actual CPL skills test because the plane was in maintenance. Like, you can't guarantee those things. So even then, that's already 6 weeks over a month. But yeah, they try and sell you this dream. We can get you to this airline and we can do it in 18 months and we can do it in just £108,000.
Right.
And then before you know it, you've got an invoice for this extra thing and this extra thing and this and this and this. And, it's always more, always more. Probably second piece of advice, whatever you expect spending, double it.
Yeah, that's for a good cause.
So it's an investment.
Yes. It's like I'm hearing my wife talk it all over again. But this is for a good cause, Just if we get this. No, it's good. I mean, that's always, there's a lot of schools here that offer um, fast track programs because in US now to get hired by an airline, you have to have the ATP minimums, which is 1,500 hours.
hmm
But if you go to a certified school, which has some sort of a in with an airline, they lower that to usually 1,200, 1,250.
Still a
So
lot.
that, yeah, so that's what they sell you on, is that like we can get you in faster, right? But that's
Yeah.
again, it's a gimmick. It's not guaranteed, and it's up to you. And again, it's time sensitive, and there's a lot of factors that go in
Yeah, of
to
course.
actually making it work.
Of course.
Cool, awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for having me. Really, really nice speaking to you. Really enjoyed it.
Yes, I liked hearing all these stories. I always like hearing because people have different, different versions. Some do it quickly, some do it longer, some stop, some come back. So it's always fun and interesting to hear, different
Mm,
motivating factors, as they say. So I'm
yeah,
happy
absolutely.
happy you've got it done. Happy you're doing what you always wanted to do. And then, what kind of salons were they, by the way?
Just beauty salons.
Okay. So it's
Just be
like,
not hair, not hair, just
oh,
beauty.
oh, like pedicure, manicure kind of stuff, or what?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
nails, pedicures, manicures, face, but not hair.
And in US, it's like the Vietnamese have conquered that industry. I don't know why it is, but it's like every
Oh,
nail salon you go, they got it.
it's the same in every country. It's the same in every
Yeah,
country.
yeah. I don't know why it is, but that's been taken over by them. So, anyways, awesome. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day because it's morning there, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But my daughter's already. She works as a lifeguard here next door. We have this pool in our little neighborhood. So I'm already getting text messages what I should bring for lunch. So this is my life. I go to work to support the family and I come back. I got to do all the other stuff to actually, like nobody, like you said, I think all I do is press buttons. I don't get tired. I always sleep. So it's very, very, very motivational from my side. Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And then, all the best in your job hunt.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you in the skies.
Yes. Take care. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
The plans we make and chances we take. I feel everything more with you. Quiet confidence and trusting every step. And we know that our faith will get us through. It's so obvious, forever calling us. And this time we won't wait and wonder anymore. When the morning breaks, we won't hesitate. It's the first day, it's the first page. Our story starts here. Our story starts here. Before our eyes, now we find it all becomes so clear. Our story starts here. Constant faith in the words we say. And it makes us sure we're never letting go. It's so obvious, forever calling us. It's the first day, yeah, it's the first page. Our story starts here. first day. Yeah, it's the first page. Our story starts here. Our story starts here.